We are going to show you how to use your Instant Pot making a Masoor Dal with coconut milk. This live cooking demo today is brought to you by a really cool product. It's called Chef's Choice. This is the coconut milk that I've been using lately, and I gotta say, I love this product. I ran out of it this week, had to use a different product, was not very happy. I noticed why, and I saw immediately why I love this, and I'll tell you about it in just a bit. Though first, we've got our Instant Pot here. I'm using the 3-quart. I'm gonna turn it on. So we're gonna go ahead and hit saute, and the panel is turned around so you can see it a little bit better. We're gonna hit the button, it's already on more, but we're gonna hit it until it hits more. And always keep in mind on the saute function, it's gonna pop up to 30 minutes. That's only a safety mechanism so that if you have it on longer than 30, it just automatically turns off. It really does not mean much at all. So not to worry about that. I wanted to get that going so we could then talk through the recipe and some of the ingredients that you're gonna need. Remember, just watch this. Work with me. I know you always do, and I love all my lives because I love all my people out there. But we're gonna just walk you through it so you understand technique. That is the key to any type of cooking, but especially Indian. You wanna make the technique super intuitive. So today, we're gonna make a tadka. Remember, tadka is spelled T-A-R-K-A or T-A-R-D-K-A. That's that oil, spice, or ghee infusion. We're gonna make it with coconut oil today, as well as turmeric powder, cumin seeds, black mustard seeds, which I don't cook with a ton, but when I'm making a dish that's South Indian or from Kerala, the Malabar coast, I'm gonna incorporate some of those beautiful black mustard seeds in there. We're gonna use curry leaves as well. I love fresh curry leaves. A lot of folks ask, what can you sub if you don't have curry leaves? I encourage you just to leave them out because there's very few things that can substitute for curry leaves. Mine are a little drier. They've been sitting in the fridge for a little bit. Not to worry, they're still gonna be good when you put them into your food. If you don't have them, again, just overlook them, leave them out, don't stress. That's the key with Indian, is that a little goes a long way. There's no real right or wrong. I'm giving you guidelines with my recipes, but you can make them into whatever you want for yourself. Leave the curry leaf out. If you have a chance to go to an Indian grocery store, you can buy them up when you have a chance. All right, so yellow or red onion, Thai or Serrano chilies. Keep in mind, we do not take out the seeds or the membrane of our chilies, which a lot of folks wonder about. And I know in the West, they like to de-seed, take out the membrane. We don't, we use all of it. Important to keep in mind as well is the more you chop your chili, kind of counterintuitive, the more heat it releases. So if you don't want that much heat, slice it just in half lengthwise, maybe even take out the seeds and the membrane, throw it in just like that. It'll give you the flavor, and then pull it out before you are going to eat your dish. All right, so tomato, ground cumin, ground coriander. We've got obviously salt, because salt makes all Indian food taste absolutely delicious. And we've got duli masoor dal. So what is duli? Duli means washed. And when we say duli, that just means it's been washed of the skin and it's split. And that means it cooks up so much faster. This is probably a dal you've seen in the grocery store. Mainstream grocers carry this salmon colored lentil. Now, what's interesting about it is when you cook this, it goes from this color to yellow. So that's why it can be a little bit misleading for folks, but not to worry. The salmon colored lentils are what you want, but I want to show you what this also looks like in its whole form. So you've got the duli masoor dal, and then you've got the original form, which is the whole masoor dal. And what's interesting about this, if you look inside the dish, and when you get the whole, if you ever choose to buy the whole dal, you'll notice that little bits are they look like they're split and they look like there's skin in there, or maybe they were, I don't know, broken in half, and you'll see that color coming through. But it is a brown dal. Most legumes or lentils do come in different forms. And that's why if you're looking for this one in particular, you want to look for Masoor, M-A-S-O-O-R. All right, good. So we've got the 3-quart pressure cooker. Look at that. The panel says hot. That's when you know it's ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and start our tadka, which means we're going to put our coconut oil in here. You could use any sort of oil. If you choose not to use oil, not a worry. Hold on one second. I'm going to run and get another spatula. And here we go. Because I want to get everything out of there. These silicone spatulas are really truly the best. And as I'm talking, I'm noticing that my pressure cooker, my Instant Pot, is giving off some steam. That just indicates I've been talking a lot, maybe too much, and it's a little overheated. So what I'm gonna do is just hit cancel so that it just stays right around that temperature. We'll go back and heat it back up. I don't want whatever I'm cooking to burn. So that's the key, and that's how you know to troubleshoot whatever you've got in the kitchen. So we've got a little bit of steam coming off of this. That's okay, don't worry. It's also a reason why you want to use a high smoke point oil for Indian cooking, because we're getting the temperatures up, up, up. You don't want your oils breaking down and becoming rancid in any way, shape, or form in your dish. So you want an oil that does keep up with that heat level, and that's a coconut oil, a ghee, clarified butter, or a grapeseed oil, or another type of vegetable oil. All right, so we've got our coconut oil in there. We're gonna go ahead and put the cumin seeds in with the turmeric. That's just for about 30 seconds. So the turmeric goes in, and now I'm not hearing the sizzle, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit saute again and let it go ahead and heat up, because now we're kind of moving forward. We've got our cumin seeds going in as well, and that's when you're really gonna hear that sizzle hit. And that's just the beep to tell us that we've started the saute. Remember, saute function is always with the lid off, never with the lid on, okay? We're gonna turn or put that lid on once we get everything in and we're ready to really cook this up. So we're gonna let this cook for about 40 seconds. And at that 40-second mark, it doesn't have to be 40 exact seconds. It could be 41 seconds, it could be 50 seconds. As long as your cumin seeds don't burn on you, you are good. It could be a little bit less than 40 seconds, but I'm giving you kind of a benchmark on what to shoot for. All right, mustard seeds are going in. So we've got our beautiful black mustard seeds. Why do we like the black? They just look really pretty in the dish. All right, let's mix that in. We're gonna let this kind of get cooked up, sizzle. And the mustard seeds, as they cook, get a little grayish in tone, so we want that. So we're gonna let it kind of heat up and get to that point. And we're gonna throw in some curry leaf. Curry leaf is a really beautifully unique leaf that goes in whole. It's edible, it's really good for you, and you're just gonna throw it in for flavor. There is moisture in the leaves, so that's why you'll have a little bit of oil possibly pop back out at you. You want to be careful about that. If you're nervous, just keep a little lid handy so you can hear that sizzle. And it's just going to cook down a bit. You want those curry leaves to wilt a little bit. You want them to brown a little bit. Mine, I've had them for a little bit, and so they're a little drier, and that's why you don't hear as much of a sizzle. Where can you find curry leaves? There's more and more markets selling them, actually, and I would encourage you, if you have a favorite produce location, head in there and ask the head of produce about curry leaf. If they know there's a demand, they're usually willing to bring it in. You could also go to any Indian grocery store and they'll tell you where you can find it on the shelf. It's actually a very versatile, delicious little leaf. A lot of folks, especially on this page, will also tell you, and if you're watching now or later, if you have a curry leaf plant, show us your photo, and a lot of you do that. Show us a photo, tell us where you can get it. If you go by a Hindu temple, ask them about it. Often they have curry leaf plants that they sell to raise money for the temple. You can walk in and purchase one, just ask them about it. All right, let's see. Got the curry leaf and the mustard in. I'm just reading my recipe. Now we're gonna put the onion in. We've got a minced onion, a small one. Now you could actually make this recipe by just dumping it all in and then hitting go on your Instant Pot. I like the tadka though because it kind of takes the edge off some of the spices and the ingredients. And so why not go ahead and just use the option of your saute mode. Why not do that? If you've got the option, let's do that. It just kind of gives your flavor profile a little bit of a deeper taste, a little deeper flavor profile to your dish rather. And so that's just going to add different layers of flavor to your dish, which is why Indian is so addictive, because there's layers and layers of flavor. So we've got the onion in. It does cook down for about 2 minutes. And remember, you want to stir your contents because if things get stuck on the bottom now, and a little bit is okay, but too much can lead to a burn warning later. There's less of a chance for that in a situation where you've got a lot of liquid going in, like a dal. But if you're doing a drier dish and you have too much of this and burning happening on the bottom of your pot, then that can layer and add up to a burn warning later. So just kind of giving you a heads up that we will deglaze this pot in just a bit. I'm going to show you how. So we've got the onion in, and now we're going to do fresh chilies. We skipped garlic and ginger. This dish does not require those flavor profiles. If you want them, go ahead and mince a little bit of ginger and garlic, and you can throw that in as well. I want the chilies in for about a minute or two because it kind of cuts that sharpness of the chili. All right, so we've got that in there, and now we're going to basically deglaze the pan in effect, or the pot rather, with our tomato. We're going to let it just kind of cook still. That moisture from the tomato will lift up anything that is stuck to the bottom of the pot. I'm laughing because our crazy dog is in his crate. I'm watching him as I'm cooking. He's so calm. He's just kind of yawning in the back there. He likes Indian food. So it's kind of funny. And he's been so good today. Very proud of Oliver. All right. Let's let that heat through just a bit, about a minute. And again, this recipe is going to go up on my website, indianisapplepie.com. So you can check it out. You can download it. Now, I am cooking in a 3-quart pressure cooker Instant Pot. However, you can make this dish in a 6-quart. Anything you pretty much make here, you can make in a larger pressure cooker. So if you've got the 6-quart, not a worry at all. Just keep in mind, the only thing that's really going to change is going to be the warm-up time, not the cook time. The cook time will remain the same no matter what size pressure cooker you use. All right, so now we've got this cooked up. The pot has been deglazed. We've got a beautiful mixture, tadka, of all of these great ingredients. And we're gonna now hit cancel. So the cancel button is down here on the right. Just hit cancel, and we're gonna add in all of the other ingredients. It's as simple as that. We're gonna add in the ground cumin, which is right over here. And sometimes I like to use just ground cumin if I want a smoother taste profile. In this, we used the cumin seeds as well as the ground cumin. Many Punjabi recipes, it's just the cumin seeds. So lots of different ways to do it. And I like to say too, you know, people want to know what's the best way to do something. There's actually many different ways to get it done. So if you prefer it being done in a different way, it's not a big deal. It's how you like it. So cook the way you want to cook. We've got some coriander powder now going in. Why the coriander powder? Well, the coriander has a lemony, citrusy taste profile, and it really goes up against that earthiness of the cumin and gives you kind of a brighter taste to your dish. So we got that in there as well. And then we've got salt and then the Masoor Dal. So let's get the salt in here. A tablespoon of salt, pretty basic. Throw that right in. A lot of people say that the Instant Pot or pressure cookers are magic. Not quite, because they do take time to warm up. The magical part of it really is the hands-off approach. Once we're done this bit, it's all going to be the pressure cooker just cooking on the side. All right, so we've got the salt in. Let's throw the Masoor Dal in. This, folks, is 2 cups of the Masoor Dal. No need to soak this dal because it's split in skin. It does not need to be soaked. It is so super quick cooking that we're just going to literally throw it in like this. If you used the other form, you would need to soak it a bit because it would have the skin on it. So I'm going to try to be careful about this. I don't want to spill anything. If I'm on my own, I'm going super fast. Things are flying everywhere, but we got to make it look good, right? Now, you might think this is a lot for this pressure cooker. It's really not. You just want to make sure whenever you are putting your ingredients in that you respect the max fill line. And if you use Instant Pots or pressure cookers a lot, you know what I'm talking about. There is, let's get this last little one in there. There is a line that's right in here, which is called max fill. You don't want to fill it above that line. And that's what I do with my recipes for the Instant Pot for all of you. I max out my pressure cookers and Instant Pots. I want you to get the most out of them. So that's why I don't give you a recipe for just 1 cup. I give you a recipe for 2 that fits the 3-quart. It can also be made in the 6-quart. And for that 6-quart, we're gonna double it up to 4 cups of product. So that's what we wanna do, is we're gonna max out what you've got, because if you just cook the 1 cup, if you have a family, even I have a family of 4, we usually can't feed them with just that 1 cup of product. And I don't want you guessing as to the amounts of the other products, right? I want to give you a recipe that truly works for the size Instant Pot. So that's why you're going to notice I use a little bit more content than other recipes in my recipes. All right, so we're still not at the max fill line. What we want to do is we want to add in 3/4 cup of coconut milk. And that's where the chef's choice comes in. I love talking up products that I love to use personally. This has been a product that I've been using quite a bit lately. I love the way it comes out of the can. I'm traditionally a little bit wary about things that are in cans unless they're really high in quality, because you can lose quite a bit when stuff is made shelf stable. I know that. We have our own shelf stable line. This coconut milk is amazing coming right out of the can. Look at this. So you can see how thick it is. You can see that it has not, it's been sitting here now for about an hour. It has not separated. That's a key to quality. So again, chef's choice is the coconut milk that I'm using today. You can use whatever you would like. And for this recipe, we've got 3/4 cup going in now. Once we're done cooking, we'll take that additional 1/4 cup, because it's a cup total, and we'll add it in towards the end just for a little bit more brightness and taste towards the end. So we've got it going in now, and I'm going to grab my spatula. Again, advise on the silicone spatulas because you get every little bit of product out of your measuring cups, out of your containers. All right, so we've got the coconut milk that just went in, and then we've got water. So how much water? For this, we've got 2 cups of Masoor Dal, and we're going to use 4 cups of water. So 5 cups total moisture if you include the water and the coconut milk, right? So that's 5 cups total. And hopefully this does the trick. I made it like 3 times yesterday, so I'm hoping that I did it all right. I think I did. And there it is. So we hit that max fill line with 4 cups of water. It was perfect. I'm going to give it a stir. And it looks delicious already. Look at this. Oh my gosh, amazing. And then we're going to let the pressure cooker do all the cooking. What we're going to do is go ahead and put the lid on. And I'm doing it backwards, so, you know, be a little patient with me. There we go. We've got it closed up. And I always indicate in my recipes, and this was, I think Nina might have indicated this to me. It'd be helpful to put in the recipe. I always say lock the lid into place and make sure the pressure release valve is set to the sealing position upwards. And I'm glad for that tip because my daughter was making this recipe yesterday and she was literally reading the instructions verbatim and she had it perfect. So you really don't need a lot of prep to understand how to use the Instant Pot with my recipes. There's a few of you out there that still have not taken your Instant Pots out of the box, and this is the time. I'm calling you all out. Pull them out of the box. Do not be afraid of the pressure cooker like I was growing up. The electric pressure cookers are incredibly easy to understand, to use, and really, really convenient to have in the kitchen. So let's go ahead now and program this. We're going to program it to cook on high, a pressure level of high, for 7 minutes. Now, it's not a clear set 7 minutes because there's a level of warm-up that's going to happen. And the warm-up times are indicated in my recipes as well. I'm really clear on these. Warm-up is 19 minutes. So think about that. 19 minutes warm-up. It'll come to pressure. It will cook for 7 minutes. And on this recipe, we have a manual release, meaning when it comes to pressure, we're just going to turn the valve. I'll do it now. There's no pressure in here. We haven't started. We're going to turn it towards us to open the steam. The steam will be released. That way it's not kind of sitting and cooking more. We don't need it to sit and cook more. It's a split lentil. It doesn't really need to cook that much. We may need to let it sit maybe a little bit if it's a chickpea, maybe if it's a meat dish, but with a split and skin lentil, we don't need to. So that's why the total cook time is going to be 26 minutes plus manual release. So the secret's kind of out with my recipes. I don't try to hide the fact that there's a warm-up time because I need to know all that when I'm juggling a family, the kids and all of that, and I've got to get dinner on the table, or I have people coming over. I just need to know in my head how much time, whether it's hands-on or not, that I'm going to need to make this recipe. And that's why I'm super, super clear with all of my cook times, warm-up times, and all of that. All right, so we've got the valve. It is now off, and we're going to hit our pressure cook button. And then I want to show you something on the panel. So we're going to hit pressure cook, and there's going to be a number that pops up. The number that pops up is how much time you cooked your last dish that was in the Instant Pot. That's an indication that it started, but I'm not nervous. I'm going to hit cancel. I don't want it to start yet. So not a worry. No matter what happens with this panel, you can always hit cancel. So let's hit pressure cook again. Once you hit pressure cook, we want to go to pressure level. There's 2 levels for the pressure level. There is a low and a high. We want on all of our dals and whatnot, we want it to come in at high. There's also the less, normal, and more button, and sometimes that changes depending on which model Instant Pot you have. That is only, folks, for the saute function. It has nothing to do with the pressure cook function. That's why it can be misleading. The only button you care about when you get to pressure cooking is pressure level being either low or high, and we want it at high. All right, so let's go ahead and really do this for real now. So I think I walked you through it. I think you understand it. We're going to go ahead and hit pressure cook, then pressure level at high, and we're going to program it for 7 minutes. All right, so let's do this. Pressure level, or rather pressure cook. Let's use the negative sign to pull this down from 15 minutes to 7. And we already know that the pressure level is at high. and we're good. So let's just wait a minute. I'm going to show you what's going to happen for those of you that are newer to the Instant Pot. So it is going to beep, right? So it just beeped for you. What that means is it's on, and you can see that it shows you it's on. This is the point at which I will start the timer on my phone. And that is what the 19 minutes in my recipes is all about. This is going to take 19 minutes to warm up. When it gets to that warm up point, then it needs to cook for the 7 minutes. And this will pop up with that time on this panel, and it'll go backwards for you, right? So it's like a countdown backwards. And when that's done, then it'll count upwards. Is that the right term? It'll count up to show that it is not cooking anymore. It is now releasing steam. That's how you can also gauge where you are in this process. Sometimes I'll turn it on, it'll cook. I'll come down and I won't realize, I won't be able to tell where it is. Is it cooking? Is it cooling down? And you know it by which way. That's one indicator of which way your time is going. Hopefully that makes sense, and we make sure that we have the valve off, and it is now warming up. All right, so 7 minutes cooking. This is done now, and we're gonna go ahead and release the steam. You wanna do it very carefully because the Instant Pot, the valve is open, right? So because it's open, you don't want to ever put your hand over this. It's going to be hot steam coming out of this. So we're going to just take it from the side. We're going to turn it counterclockwise. Don't be afraid. I promise it'll be good. There we go. Uh-oh. That's okay. So when that happens, because this is a brothy dal, you can just put a little dishcloth over it and you won't have that splattering. It doesn't normally happen unless you've got a very brothy legume or soup in there that's a little higher up in the pressure cooker. I always say use a dishcloth. You don't mind getting a little stained. We use turmeric in this dish, and so these I don't care about. I use or reuse them, wash them, use them again, so I'm not bothered. But we're going to go ahead and let that continue to release. And all the release does, it enables you to really not overcook your dish. You don't need to overcook this. These were split and skinned lentils, and so I don't really need to cook that much. I took them to the 7 minutes, and that's all I want, and that's why I'm releasing this manually. That is called a manual release on your Instant Pot. And we're going to see the valve drop in just a moment. Here we go. There we go. Very subtle, but it dropped. And it was really tough for me to stay quiet for that long. Tell you, I like to talk. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. We're going to turn it counterclockwise. It'll make that little noise. And here we go. Oh my God, this looks so good. And here we go as well. I want to show you something that I show in every class. Every time I use this, the aha moment, this is what the little holes are for on either side, and the little protruding little piece of plastic is so that the lid, I'm going to flip it this way, I know it's going to block the camera, it's okay. It's so the lid can sit here and you don't have to put it on the counter, you don't have to dirty up another counter, and you can kind of work in here. But right now, because I want the camera to be able to show you that full shot of the lentils in there, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it right in my sink. That lid can also go right in your dishwasher if you want to do that. And here are the lentils, beautifully cooked up. Look how good that looks. And that's a good amount. The 2 cups is not only going to feed your family, you can keep a little extra in the fridge, freeze it for next week's dinner, and you're already ahead of the curve with dinner. We want to put in the last 1/4 cup of our coconut milk. Oh my God, this looks so beautiful. Just because it's so beautifully fresh to add in that 1/4 cup at the end. You could have put it all in the beginning. I just like it like that. And then if you had your lid handy, you just put it down on there for about a minute and let it kind of pull together. But we're gonna go ahead and just serve this up right away. This smells so good and it looks so good, and I'm so hungry, so I'm so excited about it. Here we go. And that, folks, is a true, beautiful lentil dish made with curry leaf, coconut milk, and hey, what did I forget? I forgot a spoon because I gotta taste this. Hold on. Yummy. I can't let you go without me tasting it. Super fragrant, so delicious. You can taste that mustard seed. You crunch down on it. Every little bite has a little bit of all the flavors combined in that one bite, and that is what makes Indian food super, super addictive, is you're getting all those different textures and taste profiles all in one bite. So there you go. This was the Masoor lentil. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed showing you how to make it, and now I need you to go home and do just that. Check out the recipe on my website, indianasapplepie.com.